Hello, my name is Meg and welcome to the LovenStamps Studio. You are watching Maker Mornings with Meg, which is my Tuesday and Thursday morning live video, or watch later as the replays anytime you like. But I have a card to share with you that features a stamp set that I, sad to say, totally overlooked last year when it was new, but I had it in my collection and it was gathering little dust bunnies. And so I decided, because it's fall here, firmly fall today, it's like in the 40s when I woke up, I decided to pull this stamp set out and use it because it's really been very cute to see samples of it. And I'm so glad I did because it is really outstanding. The way it comes together is gorgeous, and coming together is something that I want to talk to you about because you have a couple choices for it. So if you haven't guessed, a stamp set I didn't use last year, comes together, perfect for fall. It is the Rustic Crate stamp set and stamp set and dies. And the link is in the video description for all the supplies that I'm going to use today. We are going to do some gorgeous layering. We're going to do some coloring. We're going to talk about a really cool trick. There are a couple different Rustic Crate die choices in this, including one that I'm going to show you a really fun inking trick for. We are going to use some of the gold mercury vellum, which there, can you see it? If you're looking at this like, what? Where did that come from? It was in the on exclusives in the last release. So link in the video description to find this in the shop, but it is gorgeous and is the perfect accent for this card. And we'll be using the iconic Celebrations Designer Series paper. So with that, yeah, Joan says 41 in Washington State. Yeah, it was about that when we woke up here too in Central Illinois. So fall's coming, so we're stamping for it here. So good morning, everyone. Hey, Tanya and Joan and Sue, Carol. Everybody's like, Trish, good to see you. Everybody's on for some Thursday stamping. So with that, let's get started. So like I said, Rustic Crate. We're going to start off with a background here. And I wanted to use the piece of iconic Celebrations Designer Series paper. This paper is great for fall and winter celebrations, and these sort of like little icons in the like sense of it, the little like symbol-y kind of stamps and clip art-y looking things, leaves, fireworks, candles, trees, snowflakes, pumpkins. Oh, we could use the pumpkins for this one. Oh, now I'm like rethinking. Maybe I want to use the pumpkins for this, and then we'll decide which one we want to use. So, okay, there we go. Hey, Rita. So one of these two papers is going to be our background, but we're going to use this crate here, and we're going to do some coloring here on our pretty element here with the stamping. So let's go ahead and pull some of those things together. I'm going to go ahead and stamp here. We're just using one pad color, pecan pie, for all of the stamping on this project. And I'm going to show you two different ways to make the most of the crate. So first of all, let's go ahead and do some coloring. I'm going to have you come with me here a little bit closer so you can see what's going on. And let's see, we'll get this out of the way and bring these in. So I have several colors here. We have pumpkin pie, we have daffodil delight, we have old olive, and we have pecan pie for the centers of our sunflowers. So the first thing I'm going to do with Stampin' Blends, and I haven't talked about these for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and give a little Stampin' Blends lesson. And if you have a different way to use your Stampin' Blends, go for it. Whatever works for you is fine. Or if I say something that like piques your interest, you're like, oh, I'd like to try that, then that's good too. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay down a light color first. Stampin' Blends come in pairs. And then I'm going to do an outline in the dark here. And especially where like it's overlapped by the little sunflower layers. And then I'm going to go back, and on the color here lines, I'm going to add a little color, a little extra. And then behind the pumpkin there where it's overlapped. All right, you see how we've added some sort of extra, and there's some color here lines down here at the bottom, some extra dimension to those pumpkins. Now, if you want to, you can go back with your light and blend at that intersection between those two. And I might do just a little bit up here at the top just to soften that transition so that it's not quite so stark between. But I also really like to leave some very light elements there. So I don't want to go over too much because I don't want to make it sort of a monotone color, okay? So now same with the Daffodil Delight. I'm gonna go ahead and color all the petals. I'm not worrying too much about the shape of the petals because we're gonna add our contouring with the dark. But this is a really outstanding stamp set for practicing your Stampin' Blends. It's got just enough color here lines to make things interesting, but not so many that it is like super hard to follow them. And by color here lines, I mean these are the extra shading lines that the Stampin' Up! Artists have added to a stamped image that basically say like, hey, here, this is a place where you would see a shadow, so add some color here. So that would be all these little lines on the florals, okay? And then these lines in the background here for these leaves that are, or petals that are tucked in the background. I missed one there. And let's see. Okay, I'm not doing a very good job reading comments while I'm staring at my coloring. There we go. Hey, Inika. Hey, Rita. Okay, so we're adding our color here. And then I'm going to go once around the center because you know there's like a sort of a divot in the center where the petals kind of tuck behind. And then down here. And I'm not going to go back. Oh, I got to get some color here lines on the corn. Okay, there we go. All right. And now I'm going to add some Old Olive here. Old Olive. I think I just colored a piece that was supposed to be a petal, but honestly, in a design that's this busy, it's not going to show. And in the final scheme of our card, people are going to be so like wowed by our rustic crate that they probably won't even notice. Now I'm switching to my bullet tip. You see for each of these markers, there's a bullet tip and a brush tip end. I really prefer coloring with a brush tip for sort of the things that are flowy, but sometimes in a tight space, I'll just go ahead and use my bullet tip because I know that I can have a little bit more control over what I'm doing. Okay, let's see, I missed one here. There we go. All right, and then finally, I'm probably just even gonna use the light here. I'm not even gonna go back with the dark. I'm just gonna color here in our center. So now we have our image colored. So really pretty simple one from Rustic Crate to go ahead and learn some coloring techniques or practice your coloring techniques. This kind of thing, I would say you could do it while you're watching TV, but you have to watch what you're doing. So it's sometimes hard to actually focus on the TV. And does anyone else pick their TV shows based on whether you can not look at the TV? I'm a huge fan of books on tape. Audiobooks because I don't have to look at the TV to see what's going on. I can listen to the storyline and then go ahead and focus on my project, whatever I'm working on. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and die cut this. We'll set that aside for a minute because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at these dies here for the crate. So there is the die backing. So this is the back of the crate. There is the front of the crate, which would fit across like this if you want to stamp the front of the crate here with this guy, okay? There is also, we'll set that aside, there's also this front of the crate here, which is going to give you the actual shape of the crate. And you can see here, there's some messiness here. There's some texture in the die. That's because this is designed to add texture and die cut the piece of cardstock that you place it on. So we'll talk more about that in a second. And then there's this cute little handle that you can put over the top of your crate. And then there are some hinges that you can put on the front. And there are, where are they? Oh, here they are. This strappy pieces here, which are like the straps that you would have on the side of like a real wooden crate there, okay? So all of these fun pieces, we're gonna go ahead and die cut, but we are not gonna do them just with a plain, I just realized I left my paper over here. We're not gonna do them with just a plain cardstock. We're going to go ahead and ink this one because when you ink it, you get the extra impression here. So usually I just drop my die right here But honestly, if you tap it and hold one end, then you can touch it and turn it and tap the other end, make sure you get it all covered, but then you're not trying to pick it out of the ink, and maybe you get a little bit less inky fingers. So we'll pop this on here, and then this piece here, we're gonna die cut this here. So I have this long strip of pecan pie, and then these cute little guys, we are going to die cut from a piece of crumb cake so that we have a nice contrast, okay? And then through the magic of television, I have all these pieces cut here. All right, so let's look at these pieces. When you die cut this, you get this delightful inked crate. You see how this is in here? Sorry, focus. There we go. So it has that fun texture. And then I do still need to die cut these. So let's go ahead and I will have you join me over here. Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Kathy. Oh, Bonnie. Hey, Leanne, Mary Ellen, good to see you guys. Whether you're watching in secret at work or watching at home or wherever you're watching from, good to see you guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to die cut our basket pieces here. I didn't realize I was missing the little tiny strappy pieces. Okay, so where is our, there we go. All right, hey, buddy. All right. Oh yeah, Sue says she likes inking the die. Yes, it is a kind of a fun way to really add some extra fun texture to it. So here's our die cut piece. Isn't that gorgeous? Gosh, sometimes you look at stuff and you're like, wow, we made that. That's cool. All right, so here is my tip for this. Now, if you want to go ahead and fold all of these little tabs back and make like an actual basket, you can actually have this piece like just tucked in here. It could come out. You could have all kinds of fun things tucked in. But I'm going to glue it shut. I don't need it to do that. So we're not going to bother to be fussy with this. And in that case, I'm just going to trim off all of these little tabs. So make life easy for myself and not worry about this too much. Okay. Now, the reason that you need this backing is because you want to make sure that you have the crate show in the back. So when we're putting this on here on our backing or wherever we're putting it, do you see how, here, I'll show you on the here, it's a little easier to see. The back of the crate is missing. So really you need to have the back of the crate there so that you have the full crate to show because the whole die cut isn't taken up, okay? So it's gonna be about like that, all right? So get this positioned where you want it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this away and I'm going to put a dimensional on the back side of this in here. Oh, I think it moved. Whoops, I lost the dimensional. Okay, it moved a whole lot. So we'll just double check and make sure this is still where we want it. There we go. Yep, that looks good. What I want to make sure is that the edge of the stuff here is still like the image, that it's still showing in the crate, not that it's like empty or white or something like that. Okay. So now we have this dimensional, slightly dimensional element, and we have our crate ready to go. Now I don't want this to be popping up on the edge because that looks like our crate is broken. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put a little bit of glue at the edges here and tap this down. Whenever your multi-purpose liquid glue doesn't immediately come out, a good strategy is to go ahead and tap it. Just tap it right down on the table. Or I often will tap it right in the open spot of my Stampin' Dimensionals because I know that it's not going to be getting on my table then. And because multi-purpose liquid glue doesn't grab instantly, we're going to hold on to this. Melissa said, I would never have thought about inking the crate texture. Well, you know what? I'm not sure whether I would have thought of it either, but I happened to be looking in the online store. And for each stamp set in there, there is, when you go to shop, there is a sample on using this. And the sample that they had showed the inked texture in it. And I thought, oh, that's really cute. I'm definitely doing that. So in addition to, you know, the paper catalog, do think about checking out what's going on in the online just to see what the extra samples are. So, all right. So now I'm going to add these little straps here, but we're going to make life easy for ourselves. And I'm going to use my take your pick tool. So I put the glue on the paper, not on the piece that I'm moving. Okay. Remember that trick. It's just like with the embellishments or things like that. put your paper down when we were doing loose snowflakes, put your glue on the paper, and then move your tiny little embellishments or snowflakes or whatever here with your take your pick tool, okay? All right, I know, this is stinking cute. Isn't this thing amazing? I am loving it. Okay, but it's gonna get even cuter because we still have to add this handle to it. Now, if you think about the sample that I saw online, I didn't like this part of. If you think about the handle, it has to be in the middle of the crate. Otherwise, it's not gonna actually be able to be used to pick up the crate, right? So I'm gonna tuck this in here. I'm just putting it right in between, okay? And then the second set here is gonna go around behind our elements. So like that. So now there, you can see, isn't this thing amazing? So let me just show you too. There are several choices with this stamp set. There's the pumpkins that we're using here for fall. There are these gorgeous poinsettia blooms that you could use for Christmassy time. And then all summer long, you can use these like growing plant things. So they're like herbs and so forth. And you can kind of picture the herbs coming out of this crate. The other thing that's really fun about here is there are two more dies. Or a couple more dies. One of these here, these dies cut out the other flowers and the herbs. This one makes a cute little label for the front of your crate. And then there are these gardening gloves. So if you're using the parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and so forth, you're gonna want to die cut those garden gloves to add. But the other piece that we're gonna add here is this hello die. So we're gonna come back to that here in a second. And let's see, to get the second half of this to stay where I want it to, we're gonna go ahead and, surprise, surprise, pop a Stampin' Dimensional on the back there so that it stays where I want it. Okay, so now we've got two of these, and these are gonna go on our card. But we're not quite finished with this because we're gonna want a greeting for our card. And so what I wanna bring in is this hello die and some pumpkin pie cardstock. Now, when you're using little tiny things like this, I highly recommend adhesive sheets. So this is a double-sided, or basically it's a teeny layer of adhesive sandwiched between two backing papers, okay? I guess one's a front paper and one's a back paper then. Oh yeah, you're on set. Betty's excited about the gloves too. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut the piece to be about the size that you want. You're gonna peel one side and stick it down on your cardstock. So now what I have is basically I've created a sticker. And so now I'm gonna die cut my sticker with my hello word, which I momentarily lost. So come back with me to my die cut machine. Hey, Margie. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna die cut this. And I am starting to find that I'm using this adhesive sheets so regularly that I kind of keep handy a piece in the front of my cardstock storage. So however you store your cardstock, I store mine in 8.5 by 11 page protectors, my scraps. I usually have a piece like this that I've already added some adhesive sheets to, and I'll just turn it and put it in there so that the adhesive sheet side shows. And then really easily I can be like, oh, I have a piece already die cut that I can use. So, all right, before I pop this out of here, I'm gonna make it easy for myself to pop those extra little bits. And now I'm gonna pop this out. This is also another handy dandy take your pick tool trick. And now we have a little hello sticker. So this is gonna fit on here. You can use your take your pick tool to peel this edge, especially if you have pretty fingernails that are a little bit thicker. There we go. I usually just push down and sort of try to worry. I was thinking about this as I was getting ready. I worry the back of the paper. I've never used the word worry in an actual sentence before, I don't think. It's like something you read in like books about, I don't know, the Depression or something, like early 1900s era. So there we have our little piece. I mean, worry as like a verb, to worry something, like to worry the edge of the fabric, or I don't know. Anyway, okay, less words, more stamping. So we have this piece here that we want to put on our cardstock, but it gets really lost here. It's really hard to see. Even if we decided to go with this one, like this one's almost even worse. It's hard to see our focal point on there. So what we want to do is we want to give it a backing, and I love everyday details dies. You guys know this about me. They have both the circles with the dots and the backgrounds with the dots. And for this dotted paper, like a dotted circle, there's hardly anything that could be better. So this is where our mercury vellum is going to come in. I'm going to go ahead and die cut this, and through the magic of television, ta-da, I have this really fun vellum circle, okay? So now we can put our basket fall goodness on here and layer this, and it shows up just fine. There we go. Oh, Betty says she's never heard the word worry. I think it's actually W-O-R-R-Y, but it's kind of like an old-timey, I don't know, maybe they used it in the 50s and 40s and 50s more. So anyway, I grew up reading a lot of like old books. Did anybody else read the Happy Hollister series? I'm pretty sure they're from the 50s. And they were like our favorites. We find them at garage sales and stuff like that. So if you're a Happy Hollisters fan, make sure you say so. I tried to get my kids to read them when they were little, and they're just like, they just didn't make sense. They're so out of time. I mean, the kids basically are like, 3 to 10, and they run around town all day long, every day with no supervision, and like, don't even check in or whatever. And my kids are just like, these kids aren't supervised. How is this like appropriate? And anyway, so yes. So the word worry is probably in there. All right, more stamping. Sorry, it's an easily sidetracked day. So we're going to layer this on here like so. All right. Now here's where I need your help deciding. Do we like the pumpkin paper better for our card front? I kind of feel like no, but maybe I'll do it for this one so that I can show you guys the difference, and then you can decide. So if there's somebody who likes the pumpkin paper better, rest easy. We're going to make it work for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. This is a super easy thing. Okay, yeah, Cindy's in for the dots. I kind of am too, Cindy, but all right. So now we've got our piece cut here. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. So it's going to layer with our card base. And ta-da! Let's go ahead and stick this down and pop this on our circle here. All right, there we go. It's kind of cute. And yeah, like Joan said, used to leave in the morning and then come home at dinner time. Oh yeah, everybody likes the dot paper. Okay, well, it's not too late. I could ditch the pumpkins. I have not seen a single vote for the pumpkins yet. All right, well, I won't glue it yet, just in case no one likes the pumpkins. All right. Okay, so we're going to have this be our card front. So I have a piece of pecan pie cardstock here that is going to layer, and it's nice because, like I said, we always want to repeat colors, and so we're going to go ahead and we're going to repeat that color here with our card background that we used on our crate and on our flowers. But why make it a simple card when we could make it a Z-fold card? So all I'm going to do is take this simple card and fold this back to the left edge. And now we have a Z-fold card. Ta-da! Really, really simple. So easy to turn there. Ditch the pumpkin. Oh, Betty says it's no good to waste it. It would be cute on another card. All right. Dots. I'm seeing all the comments come in as dots. Nobody likes the pumpkins. All right, guys. You've spoken. The pumpkins are going to have to go somewhere else. I'll save them for another card. Thank you. You've saved, like Betty said, you've saved the paper for another day. But we are going to use this cute dot because isn't it a great match? I love the way it really brings out the pumpkin color. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach this. And we've got a lot of, we're committed now, folks. We've got a lot of layers on our basket. So I am not going to put dimensionals behind the mercury vellum, which you could if you really wanted to. All right, so then we're going to go ahead, we're going to put some adhesive out here. I'm not going to the edges of my cardstock because I don't want the glue to overrun when I squish it. And now I'm just going to center my panel here on the front. So there's our easy Z-fold. Now on the inside of our card, I'm going to show you another way to use this basket or the rustic crate, because it's a really, really fun bonus. And we're not done with the front of this. Okay, we're going to come back to the front because I don't know about you guys, I feel like it's unfinished. Okay, I know Sue, this is where Sue pops in and says, add embellishments, bling, add bling. So I have another plan for it. But on our Rustic crate image here, we have this really fun crate right here. And so what we're gonna do, and I realized it has little handles on the side, so it does have a direction to it, but if you stamp it upside down, no one's really gonna notice. On my samples, I stamped it upside down. So don't notice. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this inside our card. Now, by the time I get to the inside of the card, I still wanna decorate it, but I don't wanna add the same amount of effort that I did on the front of our card necessarily, because I want the focus to be on my greeting or whatever message I'm writing. So instead, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use this, and I need a piece of Post-it note here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pop our Post-it note. Now, I love Post-it notes for this because they're very, very thin. And so you can get right up to a stamped edge, and you can get right up to a stamped edge, and you can go ahead and pop something on there that's gonna be stamped over. So we're masking our crate, we're stamping our image over the top, and then here's the fun reveal. Look, it looks like it's inside our crate, okay? So if you don't want to go to all the effort of coloring and cutting and doing all the dies and stuff, you're in a hurry, you can use any of these stamps with this crate, and just a really simple mask makes it really easy to do fast stamping and very easy things. So actually, we'll put that on the envelope too. Oh, Sue said orange or daffodil cardstock for the base. Yeah, those would be really pretty too. Also good choices, I think. So, all right, we're gonna do this one more time. We're gonna pop this. You'll notice that I'm not putting it right at the edge of the ink. I'm having just, well, I'll show you up close. A tiny bit of that crate is showing because I know I don't want there to be a white space in between. I want it to go, oops, oh man. Okay, this is so dangerous. I don't know, we'll see. Pretty close actually. All right, there was a white spot missing. So you can see it goes right up to the edge now. So that gives us a great mask there. So there's our envelope, and here's our card. This is gonna go inside. Now I did have a strip of this designer series paper left, and so I'm gonna go ahead and add some DSP inside our card too. We do, especially with a Z-fold card, it's kind of fun because you can continue a design element between the front and the inside of our card. So let's glue this down and I'll show you what I mean by that. So we have our polka dot paper on the front, and now we're gonna glue this in. Z-fold card are fabulous because you can see the front and the inside of your card at the same time. So here's the front of our card, and then when you open it, see how we've kind of continued that pattern by having that little bit of the DSP in there. So it's a really fun connection between the two. All right, but we're not done with the front. I really felt like this needed some kind of fun ribbon. So we're gonna bring in the jute trim from the 23 to 25 in colors, and the what's this color? Copper Clay is a really great match for this. Now, when it comes on a roll like this, it gets really, really tightly wound. So I'm gonna give you a trick for like correcting that. Basically take your fingernail and your finger and just press your finger and run it along the edge there. Joan said, is this a bundle or sold separately? It's sold separately now. It was a bundle when it first came out in the catalog. So now it's no longer bundled. Bundles usually last for the catalog period of the item when it's first released, and then when they come back in future catalogs or as online exclusives, then they're no longer bundled with the bundle pricing. So it's just a set, but you know what? It's really pretty cute, and it's year round, so I say go for it. All right, so you see how that is no longer got that really, really strong coil to it. It's got some coil, and you could take some of that out by running your fingernail along there again, but I like it to have some character. I don't really want it to be super straight. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cinch this down. I always say when you're working with a bow and you feel like, the bow's not right, it's usually because the little bow ears are too long for the scope of your project. So now we're gonna add this to the top of our basket. I know, isn't it cute? Seriously, I feel like this is the perfect final addition for this. It needed a basket handle. So I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to pop it right there in the center. Now, because this is really fuzzy twine, I'm going to actually add a second one to the left side. So now I have 2 glue dots on the back there. And get my finger out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and pop this down on our handle. There. Give it a really good press to make sure that that is really well attached. And now we have this fun little bow here for our basket. Cute, right? All right, so I was gonna show you the version with the pumpkins, but that got nixed entirely. So love that you guys are great about telling me what you like. And then we have our piece here. Now, there's lots of things you can do with this card layout, obviously, and there's lots of things you can do with this stamp set. So remember that there are really great options in here for wintry cards and for springy, summery cards with these herbs. And you could change up your colors, and you could honestly make the same card. The gold mercury vellum comes in, I think there's 3 patterns in a package, but you could make a lot of cards out of this. And honestly, the gold accent would be beautiful with any of these. Gosh, can you see the poinsettias here with the gold accents, or even the herbs with the gold accents? Lots and lots of pretty choices. And then remember, if you don't want to do the whole elaborate die cutting for the crate, although I mean, how can you resist? It's darling. You can go ahead and do simple stamping with this, and you don't even have to color it. You can really just do simple stamping in a color to match your card theme, decorate it with some designer series paper, and then go ahead and just leave it. So not a stressor, not a big thing there, okay? So I think the stamp set has a little something for everyone. Again, the link is in the video description if you would like to snag any of the supplies for this project. And as always, I am happy to share more pictures and so forth on my blog at LovenStamps.com. And actually, I've been meaning to say this, I haven't forever, but did you know that you can get an email subscription to my blog? It's totally free. It's projects 2 times a week because that's how often I post to my blog usually. And in your email inbox, you'll get a giant picture of whatever the current project is, and then a link to easily go and be able to watch the video tutorial and so forth. It's all free. The way you would do that is you go to my blog and click on one of the blog posts. So it'll be LovenStamps.com and click on the blog and then click a post. And in the right margin, there's going to be a little note that says, hey, did you want to get these in your email inbox? And then you can click to subscribe there. I should probably put a link in the video description here. Maybe I'll work on adding that. So if you're watching later, it'll be there. But it's a really nice way to just get updates and get a little dose of stamping a couple times a week. So, all right. With that, other things for this weekend is World Card Making Day. And if you haven't signed up for that, the link is in the video description here. It's free. It's a chance to spend a couple of hours stamping with Stampin' Up! On a virtual event platform. You'll get a link for that when you sign up. I'm pretty sure you can still sign up. If you can't, sorry. But I hope that if you've already signed up, you're excited to watch. You can watch live or you can watch afterwards on the recorded content. So that's coming up for this weekend. And then this weekend is our high school marching band's first competition. So we're kind of excited to cheer them on for the year. So get started. All right, everybody. Happy pre-Friday to you. Hope that you have a wonderful weekend. And I will be back on Tuesday with another round of card tutorials or project tutorials. I'm not exactly sure what we're doing yet on Tuesday. So another round of projects to share with you with all kinds of great tips that help to make your stamping simpler. So, all right, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me and happy stamping.